Hi, thank you for being here. And here's my audience.
Hello.
Hello.
So, welcome to Entertainment Tonight. The day that I was handcuffed and sent to jail because my inspection sticker was expired. So, I had gotten 2 tickets. And even though I had taken care of the inspection sticker, I failed to let the courts know about it, and consequently, those 2 tickets turned to 2 warrants. So, and apparently I didn't learn my lesson because I then let my registration expire, which led me to be pulled over. And you know, whenever a police officer says, step out of the car, that's really not a good thing. I knew as soon as he said, step out of the car, I was like, and honestly, I actually even had a physiological response. I mean, I started to tremble. As soon as he pulled me over and said, step out of the car, I knew that this was not going to be good. It really scared me. And and honestly, the first thing you want to do is run. So I stepped out of the car and he said, put your hands behind your back. And he arrested me. I can't tell you how surreal that was to be arrested. I started to cry. I was so afraid. I was trembling all over. I was crying and I said, please, please, just let me call my boyfriend. It was 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. I was the official photographer at a big event going on downtown Houston, and I was panicked. I just was, please let me call my boyfriend. What I didn't know is that my boyfriend had already been there. He saw me be arrested, and he came by to see if he could take my truck so it wouldn't be impounded. And the police officer that arrested me, the bully, said, you just need to get on out of here. And rather than him telling me, it's okay, your boyfriend has already been here, he reveled in my fear. And it was really shameful on his part, the way that he treated me. So I'm arrested with my hands behind my back for, probably a good hour while they're waiting they have to send for 2 women to search me. They had to send for another guy to transport me to the other precinct. So, and I finally succumbed to the idea that I was going to be arrested. And I actually started finding humor in it. I kind of got over the drama of it all and just succumbed to the fact. And there was a couple things that just really sort of helped me along the way. And one of them was my cell phone, which had the ringer set to the Star Spangled Banner, which there was a lot of people trying to get a hold of me because I was supposed to be shooting this big event and everybody's trying to call me. I know where I am. I'm on the side of the road in handcuffs and my phone keeps going off and it's the Star Spangled Banner. And it was funny too because I mentioned it every time. I'd be like, that's my phone. You hear my phone? You hear that Star Spangled Banner going on? Yep, that's mine. Anyways. So, meanwhile, I am going to be transferred to the Pasadena precinct, which is a very redneck area, Texas. And I remember thinking, I can hardly wait to see how the redneck cop's going to treat me now, because these guys I felt like they were very bully-like. Anyways. Actually, when I met the police officer from Pasadena, he actually ended up being really a nice guy. He was a mess. His shirt was untucked. He had a big belly. He was a mess. And he had donut wrappers all in his car. But he was so nice to me. I will never forget his kindness and how he treated me. First act of kindness he did for me is he simply let me put my handcuffs in front instead of in back, because I'm here to tell you that your arms get really, really sore from the handcuffs. So he let me wear my handcuffs in front. The next thing he let me do is actually use my phone. I called my boyfriend. That's when I found out that he had already been there. And also there was another prisoner that he was transporting that this kid looked like a gang member. He was like big Mexican guy, bald with like designs in his head. He looked really frightening. Ended up being the nicest guy, Jose. We bonded. We were booked together. We went through the whole go to jail together. We really ended up being a really special experience. Anyways, so we get to jail now, and whoever's in the jail, the person that's admitting people, he was acting like some comedian from, DJ, welcome to jail, everyone. And then he'd put a fake microphone in your face and really making jokes, just making fun out of everybody that was being arrested. And I didn't think it was very funny. Anyways, the other thing that I noticed going to jail is no wonder people's mugshots always look really bad, because probably they've been crying. I mean, my hair was a mess. I had no makeup on. I had no lipstick at all. And anyways, that's the mugshots. So here we are to the end of my story. They walk down to where jail is, and it's this solid iron door down a hallway. And they push you in. They pushed me in there. They opened the door like that, pushed me into jail. I jumped in. All of a sudden, I'm in jail. And there was two girls that had been there all night, over 36 hours. They were not happy people. And I remember one of the girls had a whole bunch of hair, and she'd been laying down, and she lifted her head up like that. She goes, "Welcome to jail, baby girl." That's what she said to me. And I remember thinking, okay, I know that I have to act really tough. I can't just act like a weenie. So I remember sticking my chest up and I go, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And one of the girls was just whacked. She was just whacked. The other girl was a big, tough girl, had violated her parole. She was in prison for manslaughter, another word for murder, and she had violated her parole with a concealed weapon. So then after they tell their story, I was just thinking to myself, inside I'm like, but on the outside I was acting like this. And they said, "Well, you don't look like a jail person. What are you doing here?" And that's when, I don't know, just something took over. And I remember sticking out my chest and looking her right in the eye. And I said, "Inspection sticker, so don't fuck with me." That's what I said, and apparently it worked, because I'm here to tell about it today. And I ended up being in jail for 2 hours before my boyfriend at the time got me out of jail. It was $1,500 to get me out of jail. And I have to say that, as traumatizing as it was, I'm so grateful for the experience, because one thing, it's taught me to be afraid of cops. I don't trust cops anymore. But also I have a lot more compassion, and I'm very for these young men and women that are, not to say that, I mean that it's okay that they're criminals, but I just know that police brutality is real. I got just a teeny tiny taste of what a bully cop is like, and it wasn't fun. So thank you all for being here today. They're still here.